All right, welcome to another episode of Nightmare Stories of the Otherside. Tonight we welcome in Pete Ghrist, and he is a police officer and a school resource officer at Griffith High School in Griffith, Indiana. Welcome in, Pete. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks for having me on, first off.
Yes, you're
Uh,
welcome.
like you said, I am a police officer during the day, um, and sometimes at night. But for right now, it's a school resource officer is where I'm assigned, at Griffith High School in Griffith, Indiana. A little bit about myself. I got involved with paranormal investigating back in around 2012. I was always interested in it before then, going back to like my teens, um, but had a couple of experiences back then and stuff like that that led me to start watching the shows. Paranormal State was a big draw for me. I watched that show like religiously. It got me a little bit interested in it even more, and then went on uh, a public investigation back in 2012 at the Old Lake County Jail in Crown Point, and I
Hmm.
was hooked after that. So after that, being a school resource officer, um, going talking with students every day, having friends that are teachers, myself and another teacher, Jenna Parker, we actually put in an idea to start a club
Hmm.
based on paranormal investigating. And it's called the Griffith High School Paranormal Society. It was approved in 2013. Since then, it's taken off to be one of actually the most popular club at the school. This year, we have over 100 students that are involved in it.
Jeez.
Since Yeah, it's extremely popular. After 2013, we've gone up to uh, probably almost 200 investigations that they've gone on, 200 field trips, um, and donated over $6,000 towards to historical sites during that time. Um, we had parents that were going with us on these trips, obviously, as chaperones. We take about, 10, 15 people at a time. I drive the bus most of the time. And then about 2018, we decided we were going to start the Northwest Indiana Paranormal because the parents were like, hey, we can only go like an hour away. We want to go some far distance places, other states, things like that.
Hmm.
So we started it in 2018. That one has gone almost 100 investigations that we've done with that. Both clubs are heavily focused on community service. We like to do cleanups, things of that nature. This year, we're looking to get into cleaning gravestones.
Sure.
Um, so a couple of weeks, we're going over to actually put flags on graves of American soldiers at a local cemetery. We do that every year at Oak Hill Cemetery in Hammond. And then a couple of years ago, we started just really, really promoting our group, getting out there. And then last year, I was contacted by a producer named Darren Zinkin and went over and spoke with him. And I was selected to be a cast member on a show that's in pre-production called History Alive. Right now, they're trying to figure out where it's going to land. Um, but very, very exciting project that we're working on with that. The people that I work with on that are just phenomenal people from Wisconsin and Chicago, and two of them, actually three of them, are from Kentucky. So very, very lucky to have been chosen to be part of that project. Extremely talented staff, crew, and partners in there. So I'm looking forward to continuing that.
I'm
All
sure, yeah.
right. Sounds great. So let's
First off,
talk.
let me thank you for being a school officer. Yeah, I know the one at our school that my daughter goes to really well, and we're glad you're there.
Well, thank you very much. It's an extremely, extremely huge responsibility.
Oh,
Um, those kids are what it's all about. I just got done telling somebody today, no matter if you have a bad morning, you get a flat tire, getting in an argument with your girlfriend, this, that. When you get there, you have to glue a smile on your face. You have to keep that
sure.
smile there because some kids are living in hell
Yep,
overnight. And they're
Yep.
thinking, when I get to school, I'm going to find that school resource officer because I need to tell them about what's going on in my life. And if they look at you, they walk up to you and you have a frown on your face and you're like, what? They're just going to walk right by and try to deal with it themselves. You want to be approachable for that morning for people who are looking for help.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
I want to thank you as well. I work in a middle school, so I, know how those kids are like, especially at that age, they're like in a really big transition.
It's tough.
And the program
Very
I work
tough.
in is called Lighthouse. There's like, well, we have 12 or 13 students that I'm like strictly involved with every day. And it's like, I like, treat them like they're my kids. And it's like, I do anything for them. So it's like, I definitely know how hard it is.
I'm sure you're making a huge difference in their lives. I've always said that like these kids just need to know that there's one person that believes in them, that cares about them. Even if they don't have anybody at home, they come to school, they see you. You know, hopefully I'm that person for students as long as I'm there. But I've been there actually working there. There was only one time that I left for about a year and a half, and that was when I was pursuing a promotion.
Okay.
And because we have a rule that you have to come out of special job assignment if you're going to accept a promotion.
Hmm.
So it was about a year and a half, and then they asked me to actually come back. So I'm about to finish my 15th year in the school,
Nice.
Wow.
and in 22 years altogether with the police
That's
department.
awesome.
I can't imagine doing anything else with my life. Look forward to going to work every day.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
even on
awesome.
like, yeah, even on my bad days, it's like, just going there and to get to hang out with them. And like this year, we have the majority of them are eighth graders, so we're losing them to ninth grade. So it's like, what's next year going to be like? Because these kids are leaving, they're like the class clowns, and they're always, you never know what you're going to see from them each and every day. They're just like off the wall, unhinged, but in a good way.
You
Yeah.
just try to prepare them the best you can, right, for the next
Yep.
level.
Yep.
I teach a program called Too Good for Drugs to elementary school kids as well. So third, fourth, and fifth graders. This year it was primarily fourth and fifth, and it's just like it's sort of like what the old Dare program was,
Okay.
but it's a little bit more modernized. And so I teach that, and it's we're telling these kids that are in fifth grade next year everything gets a lot more complicated, but we're
Yeah.
going to be there to help you along the way.
Yeah.
So middle
Well,
school is a big deal.
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah. With legalizing half the stuff that they're going to deal with in the country, yeah, it's going to be real tough.
Yeah, yeah, it's just we just always want to keep an open door for them. And the
Yeah.
staff that I work with at the high school and the middle school primarily, that's where I am at primarily. But the staff that are there, it just every single person cares so much. The counselors, we make it clear that it doesn't matter whether or not you're a school resource officer or a cafeteria worker or a
Mhm.
custodian or a counselor, you can go to anybody there if you're having a problem, and they
Yeah.
will listen and they will find you help. So
Yep.
it's very, very important to be approachable, and no matter who it
Yeah.
is, who they
Yep.
come to.
Yep. And then like dealing with my kids, it's like you kind of know when to give them space versus like going to talk to them. It's like I go up to one of them, like I go, "Are you okay?" And she'll be like, "Yep." I go, "Do you want to talk?" She's like, "Nope." I'm like, "All right, I'm over here if you want to talk." Just kind of let her come to me, not push the envelope.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's you don't want to be up in their face all the time. Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like when now I've had two generations of kids, so I actually have like the children of the kids that were juniors and seniors when I first started. So it's kind of cool.
Uh,
But I'll be like, yeah, I remember your mom came in here and had that problem,
uh,
when she was here, and it kind of like they're like, wow, this guy's been here for a while, that kind of stuff. But I also take real pride in my reputation. And
exactly. Yeah.
so it's these kids, they come there and their parents are going, hey, he helped me when I was there. Look for him. He'll help you like he helped me, and that means a
Hmm.
lot to me that they say that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
And like, my kids, it's like they always like ask me, when are you going on your next ghost adventure? What happened the last time? It's like, well, I don't want to tell you guys too much because, you watch the videos when they come out on YouTube and
Hmm.
they're like always asking, it's like, well, when can we go on one with you? I go, well, when we go, we travel like super far distances. It's not like we're going an hour away.
Mhm.
I go, hey, if I'm still doing this when you guys are 18, come find me. I'll take you.
Yeah, we'll let them go like for about an hour and a half with the bus ride. What the great thing is that our school is so supportive of this program because they know it's not all just about ghost hunting.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they go there and the first thing they do is they get a tour. And so they're doing a tour and they get information from me about when the place was built and
Yep.
different names to look after and things like that. But then they investigate. I've got about pretty much everything that you'd ever see on a TV show. I've got that piece of equipment just about. And at first it started off with, we all started off with just like a K2 meter, a digital recorder, a pair of dowsing rods, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna splurge and get that obelisk,
Mm-hmm.
um, things like that, that Mel meter, you know. But then, the kids are, kind of like, oh, well, not everybody has one. So then I went out and I got 12 K2 meters and then, got several sets of spirit boxes and things like that. So just gives them an opportunity to use everything. Now we don't even use half the stuff that we have. But it gives them that opportunity to be able to use and try out. And they're watching things on YouTube, shows and stuff like Sam and Colby and stuff like that. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the people who
Sure.
come in for freshmen and stuff like that, and they already know how to operate all the equipment when they come in because they've been watching these shows on TV. They'll be like, "Hey, do you have a spirit box?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And they're like, "I already know how to use it. Are we doing Estes method?" And I'm like, "Wow." These ninth graders already know everything about it.
Oh yeah.
We used to have
Uh,
to train them from the, bottom up,
yeah.
about it. So, but we've gone to Illinois, obviously, and then Indiana, and we're actually planning a trip. We're going to try to squeeze it in at the end of uh, the school year here. We were invited by the Beeson Mansion in Michigan,
Huh.
that's just right over the border, to be able to go there. And it takes just over an hour to get there by bus. And
Sure.
so, like, if I can fit it in, I'd love to be able to, take the kids to Michigan and be able to do our first trip there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on our team, my oldest daughter, she's 12, she's part of our team. And yeah, she knows how to use all the equipment. She watches, Project Fear, Sam and Colby. And, she does get scared from time to time, but she'll be like one of the first, like, jump head on into anything.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Have you ever met the people that are in Project Fear?
I've met
Paracon?
Chelsea. I've met Chelsea. She's actually my eye doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she
Wow.
lives in my hometown of Red Wing, Minnesota.
Wow. Wow. You know what? I met her once at a Paracon along with the other guys that were there. Just absolute down to earth, nice
Oh yeah,
people.
for sure.
They don't act like they're celebrities when you meet them. We
Sure.
went there and they're like, okay, how many, you take as many pictures as you want. Then we're standing with all four, and then, each one of them
Yeah.
individually. They took their time with everybody. They're like the cast of Ghost Hunters is like that as well. Just really, really nice people. And that's what I think I like about the paranormal community so much is, yeah, you're always going to have your, a few people that cause problems and things like that. But the majority, they really are out there to encourage other people,
Oh
to help
yeah.
them. And you see that with the para celebrities as well.
Mm.
Over my shoulder, you got Heather Taddy there. She uh, just such a wonderful person to sit there and talk to. Chelsea's actually right next to her there. And then, but it's a really, really good community. Like Chris Fleming, he's battling the cancer diagnosis, and everybody just came out and just like, they just line up to help him out just because of the fact that they know what a good soul he is, and they
Hmm.
just want to help him. That's what I love about this community.
But yeah, about a month ago, myself and my team member Carrie, then her daughter, my daughter, we were over in Eau Claire at the Midwest Paracon, and I was chatting with Joe Frankie for like an hour one on one, and then we're sitting there talking with Cody and Satori, and then also um we just sitting there talking with her for like probably a good 2 hours, and then with her dad just roasting him, and it's like she goes, well, he said that your booth is pretty lame. She goes, well, tell him I'm the better daughter. So it was just kind of fun. He was like 20 feet away, getting pictures taken with him, and it was just a great time.
So the Paracon went really well there over in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we were there on a Saturday, and it was kind of a quieter day, so that's why we got to like interact with them for so much.
That's another thing that's really cool about Paracons. I mean, they just really they make it so that you can just spend time talking with these people.
Yeah,
They're just like regular people when you talk to them. Actually, one of my uh one of the other investigators on History Alive on the show is Kara Phillip, and she actually was
yeah,
uh, one of the guests at that Paracon. She was one of the
yeah.
speakers.
Yeah, she's
So,
the one who told us about you. She was our third podcast guest when we started.
oh, okay, all right, very cool. Yeah, I just had lunch with her last weekend. We were doing a cleanup at the Old Lake County Jail,
Okay.
and I told her that, and she was like, "Yeah, I've been on that show." But I didn't know that you guys were over at the Paracon where she was at.
Yep.
But she does the Into the Obscure show on
Yeah.
Paraflex, and just really, really, really good person.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
when she's not doing something paranormal related, she's always looking for something community service related, something that she can save, something that she can get involved in and roll up her sleeves and help out.
Hmm. But yeah, it's just like the community. I've only been doing this a little over a year, and it's just like everybody's so welcoming. It's like, also when we're over at Eau Claire, it's like, I got to meet Patty Negri and do a live podcast with her one on one. And it's just like, who can say they've done that?
Right, right. I mean, I just saw her in a picture with Zach Bagans the other day. You know, uh, it's like, and some people give Zach Bagans, hard time and things like that, but obviously he's doing something right. He's got
You
what,
know,
29 seasons of his show, he knows his stuff. It's just everybody has their different way of doing things. I'd love to meet the guy sometime. It's just a lot of the kids that are in my group, there are, that's like one of the people that I haven't seen at a Paracon or something like that, but I would love to
yeah,
meet him eventually. Uh, it, it's that's another thing that's good. Like if you don't like the way that this show is, you can watch this show. Or
Mm,
if you don't like the way that they investigate on that program, you could try a different program.
hmm,
yeah.
Um,
And
and
there's so
and
many YouTube programs out there anymore. It gets almost unlimited.
yeah, you don't want it to be like cookie cutter. And that's what I like about History Alive. It's more focused on history,
Hmm.
and then we actually have the paranormal aspect that's to it. So we're kind of like checking to see if those historical figures are still there, which you may say that that's what every show is like, but the way that we do it is with a lot a different angle to it. One of the places that was in the pilot that we shot is the old Benton County Jail in Fowler. And unfortunately, after we were done filming, the county commissioners decided that they were going to tear down the jail.
Really?
Um,
Huh.
yeah, it's horrible. It's a 1876 jail.
Yeah,
Um,
I've heard of it.
they said that there's mold in the basement, and so that's why they have to tear it down. And we tried to save it. It had like 700 signatures, and in just a matter of weeks, a couple of our group went down there to the meeting, and they made it very clear that they had made up their minds that it was being demolished.
Uh,
So that's a piece of history that no, it's just gonna be lost, and they're
yeah.
yeah,
turning it into a parking lot.
Yep.
So it's to me that's such a waste.
Oh
And so
yeah.
with our show, part of that show is about trying to remember and save these locations because it means so much to us to do so. Um, there's so much history just with that place. They had a murder in 1883, and there was a guy named Jacob Nelling that was housed there, and 100 vigilantes showed up there and forced their way into the jail, took him out, and then took him back to the scene of where the 15-year-old girl was murdered, and they hung him from a tree. And what we like to do with our my adult group, the Northwest Indiana Paranormal, we actually took a satellite image and put it over an old 1800s map because we were trying to find where the murder took place. And we
Mm-hmm.
go out and we're like going to, these places, where the Atkinson farm is. They're like, I think it's that way. And we find like, where the river is and where it is today and everything like that. There's this little house drawn, and we get up to the door of this log cabin, and they
Ah,
open up the door. This guy opens the door, and I'm like, do you know who Ada Atkinson was? And he says, that was my aunt. And I'm like, wow. And all of a sudden we make a new friend. This guy's telling us everything about where the house was, and he helped tear down the murder house when it was full of termites. And they found
ah,
blood in the wood planks underneath of it, and that all the ghost stories associated with the house.
yeah.
Uh, and then we ended up getting involved in making a documentary about it. That we watched in the Fowler Theater, so which is another haunted location as well. But these stories are it's all that's going to be left is the stories if we keep on
Mm-hmm.
tearing down these locations.
Yeah,
It,
exactly.
to me, it's horrible.
Yep, it is.
But like
There's
for me, it's like, going into these old buildings and doing the investigations for me is only part of it. It's like I'm also a photographer. So I like going in and, taking the pictures and getting, saving that history. And then like also, you know, do research on each location before we go in it.
right because when you learn that with the history aspect of it, and you're passing that on in a way, even if the building falls, you had firsthand knowledge of was in
Mm-hmm.
there because you were there.
Mm,
We can't save them all, but the ones that we can't save, we can at least save the history,
No,
by
definitely.
word of mouth. You know, that to me, that's what it's all about. And other people, they have companies or whatever. It's very lucrative to do um, paranormal anymore with like businesses and things like that, and that's fine. For some people to do that, it's just not the way that we operate. Ours is completely not for profit. We don't make anything off of our investigations. In a couple of weeks, I'm taking 26 people to Indiana State Sanitarium, and I'm taking 22 people the day before that to Billy Creek Village. These are both huge places.
Oh yeah, they are.
So you can bring that amount of people and divide them up, but we're making zero off of that. To us, it's all about supporting the continued operation and restoration efforts of
Oh,
these
definitely.
locations. So all those people will get to go check that out. They'll make some new friends. Maybe some of them will get together and form their own groups, and we'll help them get started.
yeah.
That's another thing that we like doing. We've met two groups, a group called Ghouls Night Out. Like they play on words for the girls' night out because
Yeah.
it's mostly a bunch of women, and just phenomenal people. And then Spectral Recon Paranormal. So these are just two new groups. But in the process, like they called us up. I've never been to Waverly Sanitarium. I've never been there. It's been on my bucket list, but I've never been on there. And this new group, nice people, called me up and they said, "Hey, would you like to go with us to Waverly in July?" I'm like, "Awesome! I would love to go with you guys there." So I'm going to take my first trip there in July. Have you guys ever been there?
I
We're
was
going.
there last summer with my daughter. We were just there in the junior investigation overnight from like midnight to 6 in the morning. And it was like with 60 other people. So it's like, everybody was bumping into everybody and
Mhm.
you were trying to investigate here and a group was just walking in, not even caring that you're there. But we'll be back there as a team in about a month. But we've invited other people from across the country that are going that have never been there. So like other teams. But so like out of everybody that's going, myself and my daughter, out of like the 17 people are going, are the only two that have been there.
Oh, okay. So you're going to get to see that look, and I'm sure you see that you've both seen that before. That look from those people when they go to these places for the first time, and
Oh
they're
yeah.
just overwhelmed. You
Yeah.
know, wow, it's like, I mean, I live by Chicago, so I'm a huge Cubs fan, and so it's
Same
like,
here.
I'm sorry.
Same here.
Oh, same. Good, good. And so like that first time, when you're in the concourse underneath of it, and then you
Hmm.
come up those stairs, and it gets lit, light, and it's getting, brighter and brighter, and all of a sudden that scoreboard's there,
Yep.
and there's nothing like it, you know. And so you see that first time with some of these people, especially like the students and stuff, when they come out, and the first time they're like, that door just closed on its own. I
Hmm.
just watched it close. And you just see that look on their face, like this
Uh,
is real. Like this really does happen. This is real stuff.
yeah.
So, and you know what? I'll ask you guys a question. Um, your daughter goes with you and things like that. Have you noticed that young people have a lot better of a connection?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one who feels that way. That's
No,
great.
no. My 16-year-old daughter used to go with us, yeah, for a while, but yeah, she's more of on the psychic side herself. I'm more of a medium,
Mhm.
and yeah, she sees a lot of stuff.
There's some people that'll be doing, spirit box, and they're not, they're just sitting there and they're not getting any words. And then you're like, you know what, Madison, come over here, because well, it'll be like there's certain people that are so in tune that when they get on there, it's like they're on a phone, like they're
Yeah,
just talking to somebody back and forth. And it's just always exciting to have those people come and get involved with it, especially the student group. They are just so in tune,
Yeah.
with those type of things.
Well, like so
yeah.
my daughter's like real first investigation was when we met Chad and his daughter for the first time last summer at the Redwood Falls Poor Farm here in Minnesota. And we were in the schoolhouse. It's like just a small one room schoolhouse. And she was like getting answers left and right in the dowsing rods. I tried them, nothing. When I'm like, but yeah, she was getting so much communication from that schoolhouse. It was just unreal.
It,
Well,
it,
we did a seance with Patty last night, and it turns out that yeah, one of them followed his daughter while at home. The one,
really,
yeah, yeah.
wow. How did
So
she know?
found out last night.
Oh, she found out through
Yeah, through
like,
Patty.
Yeah.
oh wow, wow. It's one of those things, like, I tell these people, you got to take it seriously, you know what I mean, because of that possibility, right, that
Hmm.
that could happen,
Yeah, he liked
so
her enough to just follow her along home.
And
yeah, they
she gets sick of me telling the story, but it was like so unique. It's like the student's name was Levi, and I go, I can't remember how it went, but I'm like, Levi, if you take the dowsing rods and hit her in the head, I'll give you $1. Those things smacked her so hard in the forehead.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like, you ever been in one of those public investigations, and that, like what you were talking about with the 60 people being at Waverly and bumping into each other and all that kind of stuff. There's people being loud and making ghost
Yeah.
noises and stuff like that. Those type of things, those are really frustrating. That's why, I think it's great that, there's people that, are out there trying to do things that are, not trying to just make a buck off of it.
Yeah.
You know,
hmm
they want people to come in and check it out, and not just be like, nothing against Waverly, for anything like that. They gotta make money
Oh
for the
yeah.
restoration and everything like that. But they also allow the private investigations and things like that. Some places are just all about, let's squeeze as many people in here as possible every single night,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really matter if they have a good experience or not.
yeah,
We're just going to do that. And, unfortunately, when you get people that are drinking and showing, I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Have people
yeah,
do that, somebody's going to end up getting hurt. So,
yeah.
uh,
Exactly.
what's your favorite place that you guys have been to?
For me, so far, it has to be Edinburgh Manor in Iowa.
Oh, so you recommend that place? That's
Oh
on our
yeah,
list.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
been
it's,
there.
it's
I've been there
close.
3 times, and I'll be going back again in June for the fourth time.
Oh, cool. All right. We were thinking about hitting there and then hitting Villisca, um, out there, but there's also Malvern Manor. There's like
Yep.
45 minutes from Villisca.
Yep.
And then if you're out there, it's like you could go a little bit south and do Sally House over in Kansas.
Yep.
So I think there's uh, McIntyre Villa is in there as
Yeah.
well in
Gar-
Atchison.
Garnett House.
So it's which one?
Garnett House.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear about
Yep.
that one.
Yeah,
That's over there in
it's a good one.
Atchison as well.
Yep.
So very, very cool to be able to go to all those places in the same area. You just have to kind of like disappear for about a week,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Fall off the grid for a while.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Edinburgh was actually my very first investigation.
Did you have anything happen there, like lights coming on, like what happened with
So
Destination Fear?
not really lights. It wasn't a quiet night, but then again, it was a quiet night. So it was with my friends team, Grady, and they got Gray Duck Paranormal. And within the first 5 minutes of being there, him, I, and his brother Griffin, we heard kids laughing and running up and down the hallways when we were getting the tour. And then later on the night, around 10 o'clock, I had my phone in airplane mode. So, I want to get that interference. And Griffin and I were sitting there in the puzzle room, and he goes, "Is that your phone ringing?" I'm like, "No, my phone's in airplane mode and I have it on silent." He goes, "Oh, dude, check your pocket. Your phone's ringing." So I pulled it out, and sure enough, it was like my kids calling me to say goodnight, but the phone was coming through even though it was in airplane mode. So the spirits wanted me to know that my kids wanted to talk to me before they went to bed.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well,
Um,
the way I kind of look at it with that is they get places like that had so many kids that were just plain dumped off. They get, they get parents didn't want them. So yeah, I'm sure they care about stuff like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of these places, even if you're not like acting out, you're not doing anything wrong or anything like that, they might see you and be like, hey, you know what? I like that guy. I'm going to follow him
Mm-hmm.
out of there,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I just think sometimes people that are being disrespectful, it seems like a lot of those people are the ones that end up with like a negative attachment,
Yeah.
something's following them home and stuff like that. And it's not nice,
Yeah.
because it's trying to, tell them, hey, you were disrespecting the place that I used to, work, or the place I used to live, and disrespecting the people that used to live here before you guys came to visit.
Yeah.
So it's always like, we always treat the spirits like they're uh you know still alive,
Hmm.
and and show respect for their houses and stuff like that, and it sounds like you guys do as well.
Yeah.
So it's very encouraging.
Yeah. 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 You got to treat them like their family.
Mm-hmm.
You're in their house or their building that they were living in, so you're the stranger. So
Yeah, I'd probably say like the you guys ever been to Monroe House before
Have not.
in Hartford City?
mhm.
um have you guys heard of it?
Yeah.
So it's got that they found that like teenage boy in the crawl space. Uh,
Yeah.
Nick Groff found it when he was in there. It's I've been there 7 times,
Huh.
and uh, one of my girlfriend, she had a friend that was a shaman, and he said every time you guys go there, you leave a piece of yourself there,
Yep.
and that really stuck with me,
Yep.
you know. Um,
Yep.
but
I've always classified it as everywhere we go, we leave a residue behind.
mhm,
That residue stays there, and it gets picked up along the way by other people, and they leave theirs, and yeah, that's how all the residual activity gets its start.
yeah, yeah, I would say Monroe House is probably the most like I know, but people make fun of people and they use words like evil and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But a lot of the experiences that we've dealt with there, I don't know how to actually um, say anything other than evil when it
Mm,
comes down to some of the things that are there. So, a lot of it is could be residual energy from the many, many people that live there. Um,
mm,
but there's so many different stories from witchcraft and things like that. But we've actually had poltergeist activity in there type stuff. You know, we used to use baby monitors, and there's a like a Ouija board room up at the top. I don't mess with Ouija boards personally,
mm.
but I don't like some of my group will, and they were using it there, and they didn't close out the session. They came down, and a voice started coming through the mute through the baby monitor into the living room where we were at, and they went up like I'm like, you left the phone off the hook. That's what you did up there. So they went
Mm.
up to there to go and close out the session. Right after that, another baby monitor got knocked off the table onto the floor.
Oh,
We heard
Jeez.
it
crazy.
make noise, and the batteries were on the floor and everything like that. So, I mean, we know as investigators it's very few and far between when stuff like that happens, but it
Mhm.
kind of seems like those things snowball. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because that fear, comes out, and you're kind
Mm.
of like, wow, this is, and it just builds on it, builds on it, builds on it, builds on it, until you have some people standing outside saying they don't want to come back in.
Yeah. So,
So,
Chad, you didn't answer the question because you got other stuff, but your favorite location?
Uh, I'd have to say, yeah. I mean, it was the Boyd House, yeah. But now, I guess since we've been to the Walnut House in South Dakota, yeah, I think I lean more towards that.
is the
Again,
Boyd House that's in Minnesota, right?
Boyd House is in Minnesota. Yep, yep, in Boyd, Minnesota, and then the Walnut House is in Yankton, South Dakota, and we were the third team to go through it after they opened it up for investigations. And it's just a ordinary looking house in an ordinary neighborhood like I'm sitting in right now. And yeah, if looking from the outside, you'd never know that there's all kinds of stuff going on the
Hmm.
inside. No boy, yeah, it was active.
Yeah, and it's like it's cool about places like that are that it hasn't been over investigated.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
know, I like it when people go, "Hey, where are you going tonight?" "Oh, I'm going to the Gill House in Ohio," and they're like, "I've never heard of the Gill House." Great, that's why I'm going there.
All right.
Because you've never heard of it. You
Yeah.
know, so otherwise, a lot of these places, a lot of people will even go to Waverly and stuff like that, and they'll be like, nothing happened. You
Yeah.
know, and so like, I mean, these things are, in my opinion, they're all, you know, energy.
Hmm.
They need that energy to keep on manifesting.
Yep.
And so, like, if they're constantly every night somebody's going in there, every once in a while they're going to be depleted. Like they're not going to be
Hmm.
able to manifest. They're not going to be able to do anything.
Well, it's like I tell people, you ask them the same question, you ask them to do the same equipment all the time, and it's like I'd get bored too.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like, oh, here they come again. You
Yeah.
know, they're going to ask me to do something. But so we
Yep.
just hope that when we go to Waverly that night, they have plenty of energy. If not, we've got EMF pumps and things like that that we can put out too, that maybe we could supply it to them like food. And,
Sure.
not so they could do tricks for us, but so that
Yep.
maybe we can communicate with somebody.
Yeah.
Uh, you
I
know,
mean, even if you get a knock or a footstep or something like that, it's activity.
like I like to, sleep in places that where people like look at the picture and they're like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I would like to be like maybe in the chute, for where they the
Yeah.
victims, the tuberculosis victims, where they put the I
Yep.
believe it was like a death chute. So I'd like to set up a cot there and just sit there and see if I can make contact with anybody.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
have some night vision cameras and stuff set up. So that
Yeah.
would be really interesting to me.
Hmm.
Um, I like to climb through holes in walls and you know things like that. To me, that's always fun.
Yeah.
So,
Get
you
back
know,
where most people haven't been.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, even Old Lake County Jail, I've investigated that place in Crown Point probably 40 times, 45 times. Been there between my student group and my adult group, and then other events that they've done there. And
Yeah.
every time I go there, I learn something new. And there was an inmate that was in there, and he actually etched his initials on the wall and the date, and then the next day he went out and sliced his own throat,
Ooh.
Oh no.
killed himself. And so, like when you go in there, his initials are still on the wall
Yeah.
inside of there. It's a section of the jail that they call Universal because it was used for the movie with Johnny Depp when they filmed Public Enemies.
Okay.
So they actually painted everything in there, made it so that it was more of a, for the movie.
Sure.
So that place looks a lot more, you know, cleaned up than the rest of it does. But it's amazing how much money they put into that place, through donations and things like that. They've almost got the sheriff's house in the front. They've almost got that completely ready to go. All the bedrooms upstairs are now they're furnishing them. And they just have a matron's quarters and a bathroom to do. And
Hmm.
it'll all be like it was in, 1950.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah.
very, very cool. In a couple of weeks, actually, on the 31st, they're having an event there that's non-paranormal. It has nothing to do with the paranormal in the morning. They're having some speakers that are going to be there, and they're bringing back the sheriff's car that John Dillinger stole in 1934. So there's somebody who owns it that's in the area, and
Uh,
they're going to have it there, so you can take pictures with it and everything like that.
Nice.
It's the actual one that he ran out the back down the street to the garage, got in it, and then took off with to go head north with it. So they found it in Maine, if I remember right, and then brought it back. So Josh Gates was part of that when they had it on an episode a couple years ago. But then it kind of like went away for a little while, so they're going to bring it back. But later on in that evening, we're going to be doing an event there, kind of like a Public Enemies type event, and it's going to be myself and Kara Phillip are actually going to be there, and then we're going to have Jamie Stidham and Amelia Cotter, which both of them are also members of the History Alive cast. I don't know if you've heard of Amelia Cotter. She's a author, lives in Wisconsin. She's been on TV before, but she is a paranormal investigator as well, and does a lot of really good stuff for the community. Jamie has his own group down in Kentucky, but he's like the best tech guy that you'd ever want. After he was done putting up the cameras, he's like actually sitting there and he's wiping down all the cords before he
Hmm.
puts everything away. It's all
uh,
super organized and everything. He texts us and stuff. We have a group chat just to give us hey, you guys are doing great. I just want to tell you how much I love working on this show with you,
yeah.
things like that. And then we have another guy that's uh, actually Lee Jacobs that lives down there in Kentucky, and he's on another show as well. He's doing that. Um, Jeffrey Board Hill is our host of the show, and he lives in Kentucky as well. So it takes a little bit to get everybody together, but those four of us are four out of the five, four out of the six actually are going to be at that event, running a paranormal event later on in the evening with Sandy Boyd, who's the president of the Sheriff's House Foundation, and Jackie Thompson is going to be helping out as well. So looking forward to that event coming up on the 31st.
That
Sure.
sounds fun.
Yeah. Now, with wiping down all the cords and stuff, does he have anything on the rag that might prevent attachments?
Oh, you mean like is he using holy water to wipe it
Yeah,
down?
yeah, something
You
like
know,
that. Yeah.
that I should ask him that. I should ask him, is that
Uh,
what you're using to
yeah.
wipe that down? Um, but I mean, he just nicest guy, and he's just super, super organized with
Uh,
everything. So,
well,
it's
that way you know where everything is.
yeah, yeah, he's just great. I remember we were walking out after we were still working on uh, footage, and we were walking out. He just went to me and Kara and he was like, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you guys, you guys are going to be great at this. You guys are going to be doing good. I really love working with you guys." It's just a very big motivator, and we all need those type of people, on our teams when we're
Hmm.
doing stuff. It shouldn't all be out for numero uno, should
Yep.
Hmm.
be encouraging each other, and that's what I love about the community.
That's why you're a team. You know.
Absolutely. It's really cool to, because we go and work with the kids and you get that aspect. Then I go work with like my adult group and have that aspect. And then I work with History Alive cast. And Darren Zankin, the producer, has just put together such a great, group of people together from all walks of life, different
Mhm.
different things going on in their lives and stuff like that. So Kara's a nurse. I'm sure you guys know that.
Yeah.
She is a nurse uh, for her regular job. And so like people like that, you're going to have these people who are actually that really do have a heart for things,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know, as well. So you got to surround yourself with those type of people and never go
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, and with like the History Alive thing, and again, knowing the history of the places and the people that were in them, that's just being respectful. To know facts about the building, the people. Instead of just throwing something out there just to make it sound good. You
Yeah.
know.
Right. That's why Darren always says, he says it, we're not chasing ghosts, we're chasing history, is what he said.
Exactly. Yep.
Just a much better way to put it.
Yep.
So everybody thinks it's all about ghost hunting. It's like, no, it's really not. And you know
There
what I
is
like?
there.
And it's become a lot more accepted too.
Yeah.
10 years ago, people are, oh, you're a ghost hunter. Like, oh boy, they're gonna look at you like, maybe you belong like in an institution or something. But
Yeah.
now everybody's doing this kind of stuff. I'm
Hmm.
sure you guys get this too. You mentioned that you're going somewhere. I mean, you were already talking about it, about how, oh, I want to do that. Where are you going? That kind of stuff. Everybody wants to get involved in it. And I think
Yeah.
that's why, a lot of people choose to turn a business out of it because they're
Yeah.
making so lucrative,
Mm.
but, and we'd rather, support the location itself and make
Right.
some new friends, you know. So we
Yeah.
have such a busy schedule. And I love it. We're always going somewhere else all the time. I love going somewhere for the first time. And we have several of those that are coming up for the first time. Madison Seminary, and I'm going to be on a panel for Mysteries at the Fort Symposium in Fort Wayne in
Okay.
November. So it's going to be some other first responders, things like that are involved in paranormal. So Nick Carboni and Bree Hollingshead are running that and invited me to be a part of it. So I'm
Nice.
really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like earlier today, I was just texting one of my friends down in Tennessee, and we were talking about some things for next year. I'm like, I already think it's crazy. Like, I'm planning stuff for next year, and we're really getting into the thick of our investigation calendar for this year,
Hmm.
Yeah.
It
Well,
fills up quick,
sadly,
doesn't
that's
it?
part of it being so busy.
right?
Hmm.
Oh.
It gets to the point where you're looking for every single weekend that there's that, hey, we got that Friday there. What can we do in that Friday? You try to squeeze something in there. Um,
Hmm.
but we'll do things like even around here, like we'll just be like, hey, here's a restaurant. We have a place called Val's Pizza in Chesterton, that was like a kind of a Goodfellas type place,
Okay.
where people kind of were taken downstairs. Some were never seen again, things like that. But it's a awesome pizza place now, and they embrace their haunted history. And we'll actually go there. And all they ask is that you have a meal. So we go there, we have pizza, and then we go downstairs and ghost hunt the basement. And it's an extremely
Awesome.
active place. Um, so I take the kids there. We do a cemetery before we go there, and we order the food on the way over. Sit there, kids have something to eat, and then they go downstairs and investigate downstairs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
lots of fun.
unfortunately, here, and sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you're totally fine. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like unfortunately here in Minnesota, there are a lot of haunted locations, but like Minnesota doesn't embrace that. We have like
Yeah.
4 or 5 that like you can actively investigate, and that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of Lutherans in Minnesota, and yeah, pretty much most of them are strictly against it.
I
So,
I could see that. Yeah,
I've
it's
reached out to so many places, and they're like, "Nope, we don't believe in the paranormal. We can't support that." And it's like, all right,
yeah,
well, I tried, but it's like it's a shame. There's so many great locations.
wow. In Indiana is everywhere,
Oh yeah, there is.
everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah,
Illinois is that way too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, are you guys like me, where whenever you go somewhere, like say you go to Edinburgh Manor, right? And instead of taking just the straight way back, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do instead of taking 3 hours to get back, I'm gonna take 8 hours to get back. That's what we always do. And we'll just set the compass going northwest, but we'll just jog back and forth, back and forth. We're looking for old cemeteries, looking for obscure historical markers. Sometimes we'll find Native Americans cemeteries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
things like that. So
Yeah.
it's just I love it because you're driving down the street and then all of a sudden there's an old schoolhouse just in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go and check it out and everything. So
Yeah.
it's what it's all about, finding these locations. And
Yeah.
somebody will be like, I didn't know that was there. Well, now you do. You took pictures and posted online so you could go and check it out for yourself.
But yeah,
Yeah.
just like down
Go
by
ahead.
down by Edinburgh, like maybe 15, 20 minutes east of it, like on our way back from Kentucky, because I wanted to show my daughter and my wife's cousin that was with Edinburgh, and we're driving along. I'm like, that we came across like an old schoolhouse. I'm like, what in the heck is this? So I just got out and took some pictures, and then when I got back, I did some digging and research on it, and emailed the county and emailed the school district, and they go, well, this is who owns it, you can reach out to them. But unfortunately, he goes, I can't allow anybody in there, like the floors are all rotting, we just use it for storage. But it's like, you know I did the steps to try to find out information on it and see if we
Yeah.
could get in there. I go, maybe I can just come in and just stand in the entryway and take some pictures. He's like, no, I can't do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of the places too, you'll look in there and they're just full of junk. They're
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
as garages and
Yeah.
things like that.
Storage. Yeah.
It's such a shame,
And then
that those.
like last
Yeah.
summer when we were down in Louisville, it's like during the day before we went to Waverly, there was an old cemetery called Hell's Gate Cemetery. And some of the tombstones are like said to be from like the late 1700s, early 1800s. I'm like, well, we're going to go find this place. And we drove like a half hour south of Louisville and then a half an hour east. This road was so sketchy. It was a 2-lane road, which is like basically a 1-lane road where I thought we were going to die. And we passed like this really cool abandoned church, which on the way back we took pictures of. But also, it's like we get to this T and it said to keep going straight, but like it was a gravel road and it said no trespassing. You're on camera. If you go beyond here, you do so at your own risk. I'm like, well, we're going for it. So we get all the way down to the end of the road, and there's like 2 cars parked down there. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, middle of nowhere, back roads of Kentucky.
Uh,
We're turning around going back, but it was like the tombstones. You could tell they were so old, but I'm like, I'm not
yeah.
risking it.
Yeah,
Start hearing the music. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Sometimes you have to take into account. Okay, nobody knows that I'm here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, if I was to go missing, nobody would know this was where I was at.
And like there's like one bar of service. I'm like, okay, let's turn around and go back.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's another reason why I'll like when we're talking to new people, they go online. They're like, yeah, I got my own K2 meter. Who wants to meet me out to go ghost hunting? And there'll be somebody that comments, oh yeah, you should meet me at this cemetery. And I'm like, you're gonna end up buried in that cemetery,
Yeah, right.
that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. Don't meet up with people that are complete, strangers, like in the
just
middle of
because they want
nowhere.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's why we like to, put these people together,
Mm,
and help them found their own teams,
Hmm.
things like that.
yeah.
So we helped Purdue Northwest actually start a paranormal group. So that was cool to be able to go and do a couple ghost hunts at Purdue Northwest, and the people that run the intramural program there were just really nice people.
Hmm.
And now they have this program that's really taken off, and they do their own ghost hunts and things like that. But we're always up for going and meeting with them if they want to. So
Yeah. Yeah, and most people would never think of how active a normal everyday running school is. I
right,
mean, there's just stuff all over the place.
right, yeah. We investigate this Griffith High School while we're there, and it seems like the auditorium is the hot spot of where that happens, but also the kitchen, like where
Yeah,
they're making the food. There's some stuff that's happened in there, and so
yeah.
we're in there with the kids, and you hear like the drip, 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 drip. Before long, the whole faucet came on,
Oh,
and
geez.
yeah, and I'm like, wow, these kids are like, oh, I got to go to school here tomorrow, you know, but they're
I'm
more
skipping
astonished.
lunch.
Yeah, yeah, they're more astonished by it for anything.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
in my classroom that I'm in, like a paper towel dispenser, like 5, 6 times a day, there'll be nobody by
Yep.
it, and it'll start spitting out paper towels. They go, Matt, the
Yep.
ghost is back. I'm like, yep, he sure is.
Hey, I was sitting with my dad in the VA hospital a while back, and the paper towel dispenser in front of us started shooting them out, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's somebody standing there.
Yep,
And they're like,
yeah,
they
you're
asked
not
me,
alone there.
they go, do you think the school's haunted? I'm like, oh, I'm sure it is.
Well, even if it's just residual
Yep.
haunting,
Yep.
you know, um, sometimes. I mean, well, we just did the Jim Jones Boyhood Church. The cult leader, Jim
Okay.
Jones. They actually have his um old boyhood church where he grew up, and kind of before he started his own church, he grew up in that it was kind of a cultish type church. And
Yeah.
so somebody bought it, they're restoring it, and they let us come in there and do it. And so it found that it was mostly we weren't getting intelligent responses from what we did. It was but there was definitely a residual presence
Sure. Sure.
there,
Yeah.
a lot of don't leave, join us,
Mm,
you know, things like that. So,
yeah.
other than that, but every time you asked a question, they weren't responding. So, yeah, every
Uh,
place is different.
yeah. I mean, the church that I'm sitting to now, again, next to you now, I got brought my daughter over for yeah, youth group big deal at the church here, Gabe, and I had necrophonics out after she got out, and I was asking questions, and they're like, yeah, there's two of us looking out big at you from the church. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah, necrophonic, like that's a good thing to use for like huff boxes, or like as a word supplier and things like that. It just seems like that one's a little bit more reliable than some of the other ones that are out there.
Hmm.
yeah,
You
Well, that
know,
just reminds me, Chad. So, like, Rachel down in Tennessee of Sinister Sisters, we were talking about Harriman today, and they were just down there a couple weeks ago, and she sent me a little video of them doing an Estes session, and you can hear clear as day, like the voice is like so deep and dark. It's like, I see you. And it's like they all freak out. They're like, okay, we're done. But it was just like, holy crap.
now I would have been sitting there. That's awesome. Tell me more.
Exactly. That's like what I want to hear. I'll send that over to you. But it was just like, wow, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
every group has a runner. You know,
Oh, yeah.
they have that group, that person that is just going to take off down the hallway when something like that happens. So
Yeah.
ours is Tina.
Who would be the runner in our group?
I don't know.
I don't think we really have one.
No,
No, no.
everybody's got one.
Not yet though.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
if you don't, you will have one eventually. You know,
uh,
there's always somebody who wants to experience that, but then when they do, it's a little bit too much, and then they end up,
Yeah.
saying,
If
for it.
anybody,
So,
honestly, I think it'd probably be Piper first.
yeah,
I could see her. I don't know.
yeah.
one of our people, Tina, she actually wants to get a shirt that says "Runner" on the back of it, for her thing. So, because she's always she's like, all right, I'm out, I'll be outside. This is getting too much. And she'll be
Uh,
outside, but she's actually been like, scratched up on her throat before and things like that.
I had a
So
scratch in the back of my head from one of the places we were at a week ago or so.
you were like, what's next for you guys? What's
Uh, we got Redwood Falls Poor Farm next Saturday the 17th.
Mhm.
And then after that, the 24th and 25th, we're at Eloise and Madison Seminary.
No, wow, okay, cool. We're not getting to Madison until uh, September.
Okay.
So we'll definitely be. Do you guys post all your stuff on your page?
Yeah.
So you'd be looking forward to hearing about Madison Seminary. What's cool that's up there. I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but right outside of it in Cleveland is the A Christmas Story house.
Okay.
So if you're cutting through Cleveland anyway to
Yeah.
get to Madison, because you
Mhm.
have to do that coming from where you're at, you'll actually go right by it.
Okay.
So if you're a fan of A Christmas Story, that movie, you can actually roll by there. They have I've never seen it either, but we're planning on going there when we go up there. But they have a gift shop across the street. You can actually rent out the house as an Airbnb, and
Hmm.
you can sleep in it overnight.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just a little thing I always pass along when anybody's going to Madison. Like,
Yeah.
it's uh
Okay.
it's definitely there. So you're doing Madison, and then anything after that, or is that kind of like wrapping up the year because it gets into the
Oh, that's that's just the beginning.
it's just the beginning.
Yeah, in June we're going on a huge road trip. On Father's Day, we're going to be doing Indiana State during the day and Billy Creek at night.
Cool.
And then 2 days later, we're at Waverly. And then the following night, Post Town. And then Old Hospital on College Hill. And then we got a day break. And then we're vendors at the Fairfield Infirmary for their
Oh,
event.
very cool. Wow, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, that's
You
going to
got
be
a
a
lot,
tiring week.
Yeah. That's not the end.
No, that's
and that's not even the end.
no.
No,
And
you
then,
mentioned a lot of places that are like on my list, like
Yeah.
Eloise Asylum, all those places. I'm really looking, and then the College Hill.
Yeah.
We were gonna pair that with Trans Allegheny,
okay.
Mm,
but they're like 2 hours apart from each other.
Yeah. So
we're
Eloise, go ahead, Chad.
trying that next year. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Trans Allegheny.
Very cool.
But yeah, Eloise isn't really a full blown investigation. So I got invited there by one of the people that runs it from doing a podcast with somebody that works there. So they invited me to come out to be on their live stream podcast that they do on the Eloise Asylum network. And then in return for doing that, I go, can the whole team come with? They're like, sure. So then we get to do like a 3 hour mini investigation with somebody that works there.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And I know that Expedition X was just there not too long ago, and they got some really cool shadow figures with a Polaroid camera.
Nice.
So that seemed like it was they were actually like um rappelling down the elevator shaft.
Hmm.
while they're in there. I'm like, yeah, I can't picture myself doing that, but it makes for good television, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think overall between like was starting the Walnut House back in March, and then through October we got like 24 investigations,
And how many different states?
9 or 10, I think.
Wow, wow. Yeah, you guys don't mess around.
No, I feel I feel sorry for my nephew. He's actually our new video editor, so and he has his own team, so he's gonna have a busy summer
Uh,
investigating, editing his videos, editing our videos.
What program do you guys use for that, by the way? Because we're looking to start a YouTube channel for both my groups. We're looking to do that.
So the editing software I got that he uses is Wondershare Filmora.
I'm gonna write that down.
So I wanted to get the same editing software that he has to kind of keep it similar because then like because I haven't done any video editing at all. So as like I try to get the hang of it. If I have any questions, then he can answer it since he uses that.
I went and I bought something. I forget what it is, but it was so complicated
Yeah, I
that
was gonna get Adobe
deal.
Premiere, but I'm like, then he goes, why use this? He goes, try that. It's like a little more easier to navigate. And then, like as you said, he goes, if you have questions, then you can just call me and I can walk you through it over the phone.
mhm,
Yeah, because otherwise it just gets so frustrating. You can't
mhm.
get it to do what you want it to do, and
Yeah.
like I don't understand why can't I just put this clip here and this clip here? It just gets a little bit too complicated. So we want to be able to, dub voices over it and everything. With our kids group, we're looking to get like just two cameras, and we're gonna kind of let them kind of do video log. So it's going to
Okay.
be like one group and one group, and then we'll edit it all together, do some drone footage and some B reel, and put it
Mm-hmm.
all on there. And I think that would be really interesting to teenagers and young adults and things like that. Um, to look at something like Paranormal High or something like that.
Yeah. Like he just sent me last night. So he just got done with our, well, not quite done with our Edinburgh video, but he sent me the part one, which is like an hour and 20 minutes. And he goes, I still got more. He goes, your second part's just going to be as long. So I have to kind of check that out to see how good of a job he did.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
But he loves doing it. And well, we'll do Edinburgh as a trial. If you do good, we'll keep you on doing more.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
you were talking about sleeping in yeah, hot spots. When we were at Edinburgh this last time, yeah, they decided to call it quits about 12:30 or so. And yeah, all our gear was in Edinburgh, and we couldn't lock the door or get back in from the outside yeah, that night. So I slept inside, and they slept out in the bunkhouse. And after I walked them out, and yeah, it went and way down in one of the beds in the kids' room. 15 minutes later, the footsteps start up and downstairs, out in the hallway, back and forth. And then the voices started, voice
Mm,
here, voice there. You're like, wow.
Is,
This is
isn't that
amazing.
weird? Isn't that
Yeah.
weird? Where it kind of like the second that you finally get alone,
Yeah.
it's like that. So, yeah, have you ever heard of the Roth House? It's
yeah.
in
I've heard.
Illinois, in Watseka. It's where they had the Watseka Wonder, the first spiritual documentation of spiritual, um, uh, they actually transferred a girl that had died that died in 1865,
Yeah.
and she actually her spirit went and got into another girl in
Mm,
town about 8 years later, and they built a house to kind of channel spirits, and so
Hmm.
they were spiritualists, and so it just became like this place where all these seances were being done. and they moved that girl into the house, and
Sure.
she lived there as their daughter for a year, knew everything about her, everything
Interesting.
about their family, everything. So it's a very, very interesting place. Now you can rent out rooms there as an Airbnb, but we did a thing there. Um, it was like around Halloween, and we did this Halloween event there, and it was like 12 people. And when it was all over at 4 o'clock, I was like, well, before I drive 2 hours back home, I'm just gonna take a nap upstairs. And it was the house came alive when those people left because it was
Uh,
kind of a slow night. And
yeah,
then now I'm laying in the who was Lorancy Venom was the person who was actually had the spirit transfer, and
yeah,
it was her bedroom. And I'm up there, and you just like you're saying, the footsteps coming up the stairs,
yeah,
hearing conversations downstairs. It
yeah.
just it just all of a sudden, and I'm like sitting there for about, and I'm pretty brave with these things, but
Mhm.
after about 45 minutes, I'm like there's only so much you can stare at an open door, and you're like,
Yeah.
there's going to be somebody's gonna appear here. And
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
who knows what's in here,
I
you
was
know?
in there
So,
for 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. You,
Well
you
then,
Uh,
know, for a while it's fun. Then after a while it's like, all right, I got a hotel room I could go to.
well then, at one
You
point, it
know?
was like what 2:33 in the morning. You thought I was in there.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
There,
really?
there's a mimic in there. Yeah, yeah. He thought he heard his daughter's voice down in the basement when we were investigating, and then it was probably like, yeah, like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, all of a sudden I heard his voice, and I thought he was going to walk through the door. I thought I hadn't locked the
Wow.
door right. Yeah, but no, no, nobody.
Wow. Um, it's like you ever dealt with like a doppelganger before?
I have not.
One of those.
There's
Um,
supposedly one there though.
you know, if there's mimics, then there probably is doppelgangers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the doppelgangers won't talk. It'll be that's the difference between them and the mimics. So like you'll actually see somebody that looks like somebody in your group, and
Hmm.
Sure.
you're like, hey, come on over here, and they'll just look at you and walk away around the corner, and then they're gone. And then all of a sudden the other guy will come up, who are you talking to? And we experienced that at the Ohio State Reformatory.
Ah,
If you've never been there, I mean, oh boy, that place is just tremendous. It's so
yeah,
huge. There's so much activity there. Plus, it was where they filmed the Shawshank
Yep,
Redemption.
that's
yeah,
it's definitely on my bucket list to get to someday.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely check it out. But they have doppelgangers there. You'll just see people walking ahead of you, and it looks like one of your group. Turn and look at you. They'll go around the corner. They're gone.
They said
So,
they had them at any Indiana State Sanatorium too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which that place. I mean, I know you guys are going there, and we're going there, and it's going to be hot. I know when we go there because it's the 27th and 28th of June. I'm like, you guys better be ready because it's going to be hot when we're,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I was
know.
there again last summer. We stopped pit stop there on the way down to Louisville, and we were only there for 2 hours from like 4 to 6 in the afternoon, and we were getting quite a bit. We were like down in the tunnels, and we heard furniture getting drug around upstairs. We're down there, we're like, what in the heck is that?
Yeah, those tunnels are fun.
Oh yeah.
Like you just go down there and you pop up. I mean, they let you do whatever there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're sign your life away, but
Uh,
then you can kind of go just try to be safe, you know.
yeah.
And there's people that are like, I mean, I got on top of the fifth floor of that psych building.
Yeah.
I'm walking around up there, just being dumb, not it didn't have a flashlight. It one of my friends was like, "Hey, just stop, stop where you're at. You're getting." And I was like, "What?" And he shines his flashlight, and I'm literally like 3 inches from just stepping off the side of the building. And
Oof.
it was like I couldn't move. I was just like frozen right there. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Come over here and grab my arm and move me away from the edge of this thing," because
Uh,
you know what I mean? It's just like one of those things. Like, what were you doing? What were you
Right.
thinking? you know.
But yeah, so like when we're there in June, we'll be there from like, they got the day room from like 10 to 5. So we're just going to do that during the day. And then, as I said, do Billy Creek that night. But then back in August, Chad and I are actually going to go back with my nephew's team and do the overnight.
Oh, very cool. At ISS.
Yeah. So like my
Very, very
nephew's
cool.
like, he goes, I really want you guys to come with and do pictures. And I just think I'd feel more safe having adults with, because they're like 3 18-year-old boys. So I just think they want a little more protection.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Well, also when you're in town there, and so I mean, Rockville is just such a cool place to go, just by itself. We always stay in the old jail inn that's over
Okay.
there.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of it.
We always stay there. It's just so cool. You could actually rent out the whole row of jail cells on the top floor,
Mm-hmm.
and they only have one shower, but
Uh,
in there, but it's there's room for like 6 people to be able to be in these, and it there are no bugs in there. People are like, oh, it might there's probably bugs in there. Like, no, I've never even seen so much as an ant in there.
uh,
It's so clean, and they have suites in the front with their own shower. It's a lot of fun to go there. It just got sold, and now it's an Airbnb, but
uh,
it looks essentially the same, and it's still cheap to stay there. So looking forward to that as always.
yeah, that would be neat.
And the food places in Rockville are all really good too. So I always love it when we take our team there because people go, are you guys the paranormal investigators? You know, oh, you should check out this place down the street. And like,
Yeah.
let me get my stuff.
Uh,
We go
Yeah.
over there because it's
when
such
we
a
were
cool
down
place.
when we were down in Yankton, we stopped at Casey's on the way out of town to get gas and stuff. And the guy behind the counter looks at me, and I had a coffin nail necklace on, and he's like, "Well, that doesn't look like a hearse." He knew what it was. He knew what paranormal stuff was, and he's like, "How'd you do?" It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we did pretty good."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of neat.
Well, every trip you end up making a couple new friends.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we left him a
People
card for
follow
the
the
YouTube
page.
channel. Yep.
Yeah. It's just such a cool thing to be a part of. Uh, I can't. I'm looking forward to this. I want the season to get started. We've already done a couple things, but like you said, it really starts like picking up like around June. That's when stuff really starts happening.
Yeah. We've already done 4 this year.
Yeah.
We had the Walnut House, and then we did Edinburgh on Easter, and then we had Farrar and Rock Island Roadhouse.
Hmm.
Like, did you find that doing it on a holiday was there like you know, like did you get like any sort of weird activity, anything like that that you could associate with the holiday?
No.
No.
Well, there was one thing. What the heck was it? We were all in the kids' room, and I don't know if you were in there or not, but I have to go back in the footage. But there was something that came through that kind of had to do with Easter. I can't remember what it said, but it kind of acknowledged like holiday or something like that. But besides that, nothing else.
Yeah, it was people to say they, did the Stone Mansion like on Christmas and things like that. Sometimes they'll get some sort of a, you know, words that are, associated with the holiday and
Yeah.
things like that. So you never know what's going to be going on residually there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with different
You
moon phases and stuff, I know yeah, people have a lot of different stuff. Like the blood moon this past year, yeah, a few months ago. Yeah, there's a lot of people that had some interesting stuff that night.
Yeah, exactly. So it's boy, I'm jealous of some of those locations that you're going to. Definitely, that's you guys are gonna have a blast with those things.
And
Yeah.
then later on in the year, in August, we're going to be doing Bell Mansion, Rhodes Hotel, and Ashmore back to back to back.
Have you done any of those yet?
I've I've been to Ashmore again. That was just during the day for a couple hours last year, but the other two I haven't been.
And Bell
Um,
Manson's closing at the end of the year. So,
yeah, the owners that own it now, they bought a different place.
oh,
It's a historical building.
okay.
Okay.
So I could see that opening up to that. I don't know who bought Bell Mansion, but they said that they were no longer going to do anything there, whoever the
Yeah,
new
when
owner
I saw
is.
that post, I'm like, okay, how far away is that from the Rhodes Hotel? And I saw where it was. I'm like, I'm booking it. I got to get in
Yeah,
there before it's gone.
it's a
I want
really
to,
cool place. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I want to sleep on one of uh, the deals that they got in the mortuary.
Yeah, they have the kind of the autopsy type
Yeah,
tables.
yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, we all took turns laying on it. Um, it's they have like these stretchers that are laying there next to them. One of them has blood stains on it. So it's it's definitely an interesting place. But there was like one of the gang from John Dillinger's gang that was actually embalmed there.
Oh,
Hmm.
really?
You have his picture on the wall. Yeah. It's if you go there in the summertime, it's extremely hot, like upstairs, like in the upstairs
I've,
rooms.
I've
But the
heard that.
basement is so cool. So cool. The rest of
Yeah,
the place is so cool. The embalming room is so cool. Um, and the lady Angie Sturm, the person who runs it, she's just very, very accommodating, very nice.
wow.
Um, so it's just a really cool area to be able to do a lot of things. Uh,
Yeah,
Rhodes Hotel is just one of those places that once you go there, you'll already want to book to do it again.
Okay.
So Mike Couch runs that and his sister. And you know, it used to be for the Lost Limbs Foundation. They used to use it to raise money for that. Um, and he just Mike is just one of those people that everybody likes whenever they meet him. He's just a really, really good guy. So we get a lot of activity there. There's some cool stories that are associated with a preacher that are there,
hmm.
um, in the different rooms that you could stay in overnight. Very cool. Have you ever heard of Asher Walton?
Yep.
So that
Just down
you know
the
that's
street, ain't it?
yeah, two doors down from Rhodes. They actually have their own camera system in it. So when you go in there, you can have somebody sit at the cameras, and then they can write down if we hear anything or whatever the case
Interesting.
may be, and we give it to the owner, and the owner looks up the video and then sends you the video
Oh,
Okay.
of what happened.
huh.
Yeah, very, very cool place.
Okay. Now you're giving me more ideas for next year.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a cool place to do with roads, just because it's so close. So you can kind of like, you know, do one night and one the next night. There's some people that'll rent both of them out at the same time, and then
yeah.
they'll just go
Yeah.
wander back and forth between the two. So,
Yeah.
but Asher Walton, very, very cool. And it's not expensive to rent it either.
Oh, that's always nice.
Hmm.
Well, I'll have to add it to my list. I'll do it right now so I don't forget.
I
Well,
could
that's
keep going.
like Randolph County Asylum. Like, they were talking about. We watched Paranormal Quest dig a deal last night that had a house that was not too far away from there. Yeah, and it looked really neat.
Oh yeah, then you could always pair it with their
Yeah.
um uh usually when we do that one we do Stone Mansion with it, and that's in Winchester as well. That's the one that almost got wrecked by the tornado.
Oh,
Um
okay.
but yeah, that is another amazing place. It was a General Stone. He had
That
that.
was it. That was it.
Oh, that was it?
Yep. I guess
Yeah.
not to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely look into that place. It's so big. There's like three different stories on it, and
Yeah.
it had lights coming on and off by itself. At night when you try to sleep, you can hear people walking up and down the stairs. I slept in the general's bedroom overnight on a cot, and got woke up in the middle of the night, somebody rustling me awake, and
Wow.
But get out
wake
of my
up.
bed.
Yeah, he'll wake up like, you wake up and then you hear like the footsteps and the door closing and everything like that. It's just very, very cool. And you'll be like, why, who's talking in the hallway? You go out there, there's nobody talking. But what's
Uh,
cool about that is uh the general was extremely short. He was like 5'3",
yeah.
and so all the handles are actually really low to the floor because they're to accommodate him and
Okay.
his height to open it up, which is really cool.
Yeah, they didn't mention that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It also has some closets, which I guess back in the day, you get somewhere that's like a 1860s house with closets that was for rich people.
Uh,
So, but so he has that, and it's kind of cool. You go in the closet, you're like, I bet you there was a Civil War uniform in here at one point,
Yeah.
things like that.
yeah. Yeah, they said he had his hands in all kinds of different businesses and stuff. Yeah, yes, some of it illegal, some of it not quite so.
So you guys have done Randolph County Asylum?
No,
No.
That is another very, very, very good place.
that's what I
I'm
hear.
All those places are owned by the same person too. It's
sure.
this
Okay.
group called
Yeah,
Stop.
that mansion is too now, ain't it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a Stop. It's called Save the Old Properties. They're a nonprofit organization. They're dedicated to saving these places from the wrecking ball. And they've done so much work to these old Blackford County Jail in Hartford City, and they own the Jim Jones Boyhood Church. There's
Okay.
another place called Center Church that they own, and I think they just bought a school.
Uh,
So it's two just really, really good guys. It's two twin brothers.
yeah,
Just they're they are literally saving so many different properties, and so we try to support them any way that we can. That Randolph is just an amazing place. um I did
Yeah, I
sleep
think
overnight in a room full of dolls.
yeah, I think on the way back from Fairfield on that Sunday, if we have time, we're gonna stop there and just do a quick day tour on the way through.
Oh, you'll
uh,
love it. You'll love it. And there they could point you out. There's like a actual graveyard that's, or not a graveyard, a cemetery that's out there that's unmarked from all the people that died there.
sure.
Um, so you can go out
Master.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just it's one of those things, you go down the rabbit hole, start like, what's in this area, and then before long, you guys are gonna have five more places that you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So yeah, so boy, you guys are busy.
yeah, we are.
But that's awesome though. You know,
Mhm.
you guys are supporting these locations, you know, through donations and all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to come back and talk about it like we are now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
and then other people are going to be like, hey, I want to go there. They're going to go there too.
Remember that time? Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly.
Besides, like next year, besides doing Trans Allegheny Memorial Day in July, we're doing Old Harriman Hospital and Old South Pittsburgh Hospital back to back.
Wow. You guys,
And
seriously,
that
don't mess around.
investigation's gotten a little bigger because I haven't talked to Chad about that, but we're actually doing. So remember when we were on the podcast Sunday night with Rick and his idea? That idea is going forward.
Okay.
So now we have Old Harriman and Pittsburgh, both of them 2 nights.
Yeah, that works.
So yeah, there's quite a bit going on already next year.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
I'll be spending a lot of time in morgues.
Yeah, Chad's getting handcuffed in a body cooler next month and with no flashlight.
Uh,
Very interesting.
He kind of walked into that one himself.
would you sleep in what? How did you say it? I can't remember if you said the body tour or just the morgue. But I think it was just the morgue, and I was like, sure. And he's like,
Yeah,
okay.
that was before you knew we were going to Old Hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, sure. I'm like, okay, you're sleeping in the body cooler at Old Hospital.
And I was like, oh, I walked right into that one, didn't
You
I?
sure
He's like,
did.
oh,
It, I've heard a lot of really good stuff about Harriman, and the other one's famous too.
Yeah.
So you guys are definitely in for an experience, I'm sure. Uh,
Uh,
but
Yeah, we had well, Chad wasn't on that podcast, but it was a few weeks back. I had Ronnie, the owner of the two hospitals, on for a podcast, and he's coming back on in a couple weeks. But he's a really great guy, except for he's a White Sox fan.
oh no,
Yeah,
no, but we'll forgive him, right?
uh,
yep. And
I feel
he was
sorry for those
ripping on
guys.
me because I had my Cubs sweatshirt on,
Oh man, you can only feel sorry for those fans.
yeah,
They have to sit there and watch that team every single year play.
especially last year.
Yeah, exactly. At least this year they're not as bad as the Rockies are.
Yeah,
Rockies are terrible, and they lost Chris Bryant again.
yeah, I
So
saw that.
yeah, there's a shame what's happened to him.
Yeah.
He's probably going to end up retiring early, is what I would guess, but not before he gets paid. So
I mean, what do you want? My daughter's knocking on the door. Yes.
is it snack time yet?
You want to come in? That is called a lighter. No, you don't play with the lighter. So, anyways, I'm going to go back to a question you asked as I get choked out here. You asked us, what is your favorite location?
my favorite location was the old Benton County Jail, and it's going to be a real shame when they tear it down. But that just because of the stories that were associated with it. Um, I would say Old Lake County Jail is probably a close second,
Hmm.
and uh, and then Roth House would be another place that would be just eating up the history that goes along with it. And we've been to those locations so many times, and you just keep learning more and more and more about it.
Right.
Um, just those places it has to do with not necessarily like how active places are, even though all three of those places are extremely active. Um, I think the stories that are actually involved with the places, those places are that's the type of stuff that attracts me to a location.
Mm-hmm.
If they have
Hmm.
a cool story that you can follow up on, that you can learn
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
All
Well,
those
like
three things apply.
yeah, the jail cell that we got behind the museum in Redwood is the original county lockup, and that held a guy that was Redwood County's one and only hanging because it was botched the first time the rope broke. The second time, he was just it dropped, but he was sitting there dangling. It didn't snap his neck, so he choked to death.
Wow.
So that was the one and only kid hanging in Redwood County.
Wow. It's stories like that, that's just amazing to know about that type of
Yeah,
thing. That,
yeah,
you know, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, there's a few books about it. Yeah, William Rose. The man that was hung twice.
Hmm? Okay.
I was telling you guys about Fowler and about the vigilantes hanging that guy. But some of our group members were at the local historical society in Fowler, and they were like just going through this photo album,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden it just said Jacob Nelling, 1883, and it was a picture of him hanging in the tree.
Hmm.
Really?
And he was like, wow, like how amazing is that we've been researching this and you run across that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's out of the
yeah.
blue, you
But I
know?
mean, you got to figure back then, a hanging was something the whole town went to.
Hmm.
You
They
know,
actually said, go ahead, I'm sorry.
go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, just that they actually canceled school for the day
Oh,
when they
geez.
hung him. And then so that all the kids and everybody else could come out, and they said there was 3,000 people that came out to witness his body hanging in the tree.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
So then after that, when they cut him down, then they turned around, chopped the tree down, and then the father of the murdered girl made canes out of the wood
Huh.
for the vigilantes and let them all have sections of the rope and
Hmm.
everything like that.
Huh.
So just the stories that are associated with it,
Yeah.
just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So, after they tear it down, I'll still find reasons to go to Fowler. And the theater is just amazing. It's one of those theaters when you go in there, the candy bars are $1, the
Nice.
drinks are $1, and they're full size candy bars,
Yeah.
and the popcorn's $3 for a giant bag. You know,
Uh,
it's just completely restored 1940 movie theater. You can
That's
even rent it
awesome.
out. I'm sorry.
I said that's awesome.
You can even rent it out like say like if you have a birthday party, you can go in there with a Blu-ray and you can give it to them and they will play whatever movie you want. And you can
uh,
have all your friends in there and watch a movie in an old haunted 1940 movie theater that's completely restored and watch whatever movie you want in there
uh,
Nice.
place to yourself.
yeah.
So
But yeah, we're kind of doing something like that on the 31st down in my hometown, Red Wing. You have the Sheldon Theater. It's an old theater that was built in 1901. We investigated there right after Christmas. So we're going to kind of do an event where, we bring in, I think we have like 20 people coming, and we're going to talk about how we investigate, talk about the equipment, and then probably just part one of our Edinburgh video. I'm going to premiere it to everybody there, like on the big screen. And then after that, kind of get in and investigate for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
very cool idea. Paranormal 101 classes are such a great idea, especially for, a lot of these newcomers, they come in there just so that they know how to use the equipment when they go on these type of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they got
And
another team coming from northern Minnesota, Minnegosta Paranormal. They just wrote a book on, Paranormal 101. So they're going to come down. They'll talk about their book a little bit and help out. And
very cool. The networking is a really cool part of it too.
it
There's like
is.
certain groups that you just become really, really attached to and do a whole bunch of things together. So we're looking into Trans Allegheny together. We're gonna do like with Spectral Recon and Ghouls Night Out, because it's another place that's so big
Oh,
that you
yeah.
have 25 people come there if you wanted to. They'd never run into each other.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
When we go there next year, we'll have some other people joining us. I got a friend and her husband that's going to come from Nebraska, and another person and her husband from, I think, out in the Boston area, and that they've never been there. So it's like, I want them to experience what we're experiencing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Very cool. Very cool. Looking forward to seeing that kind of stuff up. It's the Trans Allegheny one. Ever since I heard about that place, I've just been like, we got to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. My friends, Gray Duck, they were just there in Waverly last September, and I'm waiting patiently for their videos to come out.
Mhm.
Should
It's
be
gonna be
should be
great.
soon, I would hope.
Mhm.
It's like if there's out of all the places that you've heard of or whatever case may be, where is it that you would like to go that you haven't been yet?
My bucket list location that unfortunately I will never get to go to, because as of right now, it's indefinitely closed and might not ever open to the paranormal again, would be Sweet Spring Sanatorium.
Where's that at? I've
That
never heard.
is in, is it West Virginia, I think. So the owner recently passed away in November, and since he passed away, it's just gone into legal hell. So hopefully it'll reopen someday soon, but if not, then that's just how it is. But besides that, I would have to say Brushy Mountain Penitentiary.
Oh, down in Tennessee.
Yeah,
I think that was just on an episode too of Expedition X. Just saw
Mhm.
that thing. It just looks absolutely amazing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, say just like there's the one road in. It's like and surrounded
Hmm
by mountains. It's
It's
just
an
like,
upside down cross.
yep.
hmm What about you, Chad? Where would you like to go?
I'm looking forward to Trans-Allegheny. I mean, it's just one of them things between hospitals and sanatoriums, psych hospitals. I just feel comfortable in them. So
Very cool. I'm with you on that one with the Trans-Allegheny. That's
yeah,
I mean,
it's definitely my top one right now.
yeah.
if
And
if
with the
you
hospitals and stuff, it might have something to do with all the years that I spent as an EMT. So I spent a lot of time in hospitals.
Okay. You have a natural attraction to them then.
Yeah.
so this girl here, she's never been on an investigation because she's too young.
Yeah.
But if you, I'm not gonna get. If you could go to a place, where would you go?
You need some help over there, Matt?
Yeah, where would you go investigate if you could? You whisper in my ear. What? Oh, she said the Sheldon Theater,
Uh,
not the
So
Stanley
someday, right?
Hotel.
yeah.
She says the Stanley Hotel too.
Ah,
I could follow in the state if I wanted.
it's an interesting place too.
It is.
Yeah.
So someday, right?
Well, we've both been there, not for an overnight
Yeah.
investigation, just because they don't really allow it. But we've been there during the day and did day tours and stuff. And yeah, a guy was there with my daughter, and he was there with his daughter.
Can they
So
let you stay in the haunted room? The
yeah,
room that's
it's
Yeah,
okay.
you
leased
can
out.
rent it out.
It's leased out 2 years in advance, though.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yep, yep. It's
Wow.
that popular. And a lot
Wow.
of people that stay there stay for a month at a time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Someday, right?
yeah.
Someday.
Yeah. When I'm retired, we'll
Money.
do stuff like that.
I'm like, hey,
Don't call me that.
girl, stop.
The abuse.
I know, right?
That's why you can never have daughters.
She is a big WWE fan.
I
Oh, really?
don't.
Yep.
Don't
Uh,
share my
SmackDown.
dark secret.
It's not a
Daddy.
dark secret.
It's a dark secret.
Okay, stop.
You're mean.
I guess I'm mean now.
Away.
No, don't throw my book away.
We get that from the garbage.
Ah, that's why you gotta love the podcast. You never know what's gonna happen or who's gonna show up.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, you are gonna be on YouTube. She's all excited about that.
famous.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take your book.
Okay. Well, anyways,
Ooh.
so one last thing we like to do on our podcast is give you the opportunity to plug any socials and where anybody can find you.
Well, I don't do TikTok, but I have a Facebook page, Pete Ghrist, Instagram under that as well. And then obviously Northwest Indiana Paranormal has their own page. They have an Instagram and a Facebook. They can do that. History Alive, and it's by DMZ Productions. They have their own Facebook page and their own Instagram as well. There's 10,000 people following it already. So we're looking to build on that as well, and looking forward to being able to announce eventually which platform it's going to be on, whether or not it's going to be streaming or whether it's going to be on a network. So they get some positive things from two of the networks. So we're just waiting to hear what the next step is with that. But it could also end up on streaming. So looking forward to that as well. Um, when it comes down to it, I just love being part of it. It's not about like trying to find somewhere with money or anything like that.
Mhm.
I just want to be, I just enjoy being with this group and working on the show.
Sure.
But other than that, anybody who's like in the area and stuff like that and wants to go on a ghost hunt, they want to go on a paranormal investigation.
Hey, hold on.
We always leave a couple spaces open for newcomers. So that way people can come in a safe environment and come and hang out and learn how to do it, and then we'll help them get their own group started if they don't want to stay with ours. So very, very not for profit, and looking forward to another very busy investigation and event season. So
All right.
hopefully I'll get to meet you guys in person
Yep,
sometime
now,
too.
here's my other daughter. This is the ghost hunter.
Okay.
This is Natalie.
My hair not color on camera.
I guess it's not color on camera. All right. Well, we thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
And it was a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, guys. It was
Yes.
a pleasure talking with you guys.
All
You
right.
too.
Now, we will stay in touch and talk soon.
Sounds good.
All
Good
right.
luck to you guys. Be safe.
Yep. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.